have to say that, you know, the old adage, meat and potatoes people, I have to say that's my preferred way to eat steak. You're not adverse to having
Oh, no, by the look of my size, I love meat and potatoes every Sunday.
Well, I can tell you this, you know, I betray my love of carbohydrates. And, you know, if I was an Elvis impersonator, it would have to be his later years after he discovered those carbohydrates. So I'm just going to pop these into an oven about 350 degrees. And our steaks are up there broiling away. So what I want to do is I just want to, everything's got to be warm because, like I said, we've got a little surprise for you at the end here when we go pyrotechnic. I'm going to put about a half a cup of Calvados, and I want it warm. I don't want it hot or too hot. I want it warm, and I don't want too much of it, only about a half a cup. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you can just excuse me for a second, I'm going to get some heat on here. And I've got the Calvados over our pilot light here in this nice warm pot. In fact, I'm going to actually close this up so that we can get that nice and warm. Half a pound of butter, and this is important because, have you ever heard of putting out a fire with butter?
No, I certainly haven't.
Well, you're going to learn today that we're going to do a little bit of extinguishing. So what we want to do is we want to get our tarragon. You don't want to do this too early because it'll turn black. But we want some tarragon. We want a few nice sprigs of tarragon. I've peeled them off here. And you don't have to do them you know, too fine, but just a nice sort of a chop so that we get some nice pieces of tarragon. Do you ever cook with tarragon?
No, I never have.
You know, tarragon, if you want to give that a smell, it's got almost a licoricey or an anise smell. It's a very, very strong herb to cook with. And in fact, some people don't like the taste of tarragon because very often people use too much of it. But in this recipe, we got a lot of beef there. And so we're going to use this. Now, tarragon and beef go well together. Anyone who's had a nice béarnaise sauce knows that. And our butter's melted, and I'm just going to throw the tarragon in, and now I can turn the heat right down on that. This is ready. And what we're going to do is I'm going to get you to take these steaks, get them off there. That's right. And what we're going to do is we're not going to get rid of this pan because this steak is so thick at 2.5 inches, and we want it warm when we flambe it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the nice pieces of the steak and slice them into some manageable pieces, and then we're going to get some heat back on into the broiler. So
maybe I'll use just a little smaller knife.
Sure, that might work better. So I went for the man size. I figured since we were, you know, dealing with this type of steak, it might be better. But finesse always works when you're working in the kitchen. And I see you're doing a wonderful job here, and I just want to point out, once you get this off here, that really what we've got is we've got a very hot piece of meat here on the top, but you can see it's almost raw on the inside and cool. And we're going to warm that up because we need that warm.
So it looks like we got about 1 centimeter of penetration of the heat into the meat there, so that's nice.
I'm just going to check, make sure how we're doing on all of our finishing items here. Our butter's come along really nice. And our Calvados is nice and warm in here. So what we want to do now with this is cut it into manageable strips, as I told you. And about 1/2 inch or so, and that's a beautiful, beautiful piece of meat, isn't it?
It looks really good.
Yeah. And so what you want to do now is, while Dr. Miller is cutting this, you just want to get this ready to be back in the broiler. And you want to use the same pan. You want to save all those nice juices that are in there now. And it's really going to bleed out some juice when we put it back in for the second time.
Boy, those are gorgeous.
Yeah, this is, and again, this almost does have the feel of something like a tuna belly. It's such beautiful, tender meat.
Oh, that looks just wonderful, doesn't it, Alan?
It looks fantastic.
Look at that.
And we've got all of this beef nicely cut. We're just going to get it back on the tray. And again, if you had a nice oven-proof dish, you could do all of this in one dish without swapping this around. And so I'm just going to throw this right back under a really hot broiler, and we are almost ready to finish this dish. So here we go. All right, everything's ready, and because you did such a great job in your tri-tip, I'm going to do my best to upstage you when we come back. So are you ready?
I'm all ready.
Okay, we're ready to finish this beautiful dish when we come back. Don't go away. Well, now the moment of truth, what we've all been waiting for, time to finish our beautiful porterhouse. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, like I said, everything's got to be warm, so we've got a nice warm plate here. And I'm going to get you to help me get our beef out of the broiler here. And get this into our plate, if I can get you to do some surgery with me. Now again, this beef has just been put under the broiler and nice and hot now, and now we got it into our warm plate. Oh, look how beautiful that is. That really is something else.
Oh, it's all set. Smells great.
Yeah, and it's just a little bit bubbling there, and now I'm going to get you to get ready with our pyrotechnics. Got a match ready. Here's the secret. Our warm Calvados poured over this beef. Just get that on there. Nice warm Calvados. There we go. Now, with that burning like that, we just want to get some of that alcohol off of there. And then what we're going to do is, for the pièce de résistance of the show, going to take our nice, beautiful tarragon butter now, and we're just going to pour it all over that beautiful beef and put out the fire with our tarragon butter. Look at that. And we are done. So we've got our beautiful scalloped potatoes, and we've got our beef, and ready to plate this up?
Looks great.
All right. Why don't you pick out some nice pieces. Got some beautiful scalloped potatoes here with our carrots, hot out of the oven.
That's a man-sized helping.
That's a man-sized helping, and that's our beautiful, beautiful porterhouse steak with our scalloped potatoes.
Oh, that's so tender.
That's beautiful. Give it a go. Well?
Oh, it's one of these.
Oh, well, that's great. You're being very kind. You did a wonderful job on your tri-tip, and it's been a real pleasure setting some beef on fire with you today.
I've learned something new today, Alan.
And I'm really glad that we went out to your ranch. I hope everyone had some fun. And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Let's dig into this beautiful beef.
All right.
See you again soon.